Hey everyone, Bonnie here, and we're coming live for another session of the Inner Temple of Witchcraft. So this past month, I've been doing lesson 9, which is spirit work, and I was a bit apprehensive with this one because with my schizophrenia, I don't like doing spirit work because I doubt it. I feel like it's part of my mental illness that's trying to coerce me, for lack of a better term. But one thing that he even mentions in the book, which I thought was fascinating, was that somebody brought it up, how do you know the difference between spirit communication and schizophrenia? And his comment was, with schizophrenia, you can't turn it off. With spirit communication, you can cut the line and end it, which is really true. And for some reason, I never had that click in my head that with my schizophrenia, if I'm getting messages that are created in my own mind, if I accept them, or if I deny them, but they still keep happening, that's my schizophrenia. However, if I got a message and I accept it, it was a message from the divine, and that's all I'm getting, unless it's repeated. I don't know how I don't know how to explain this right, and it's very frustrating. But yeah, you can turn off spirit work at any given time. But with schizophrenia, it's constant. It's constant noise. And I found it really interesting that he mentioned it in this book. While I was reading, while he was talking about his spirit guides, the name Asha came to mind. Like, oh, okay, like Asha. And then immediately the name Asha popped into my head. I read the name about a minute later as the name of Christopher Penchak's guide. And I was just like blown away, like, okay, these are messages being sent to me, like the synchronicities. It's funny because we're doing spirit work and I'm getting spirit messages. So the first exercise was to work with a pendulum. I'm really rusty with the pendulum. I don't use it very often. It's not that I don't like it, I just don't use it as a form of divination. I have pendulums, but I rarely use them. So this was just to practice getting in touch with your spirit guides, and then seeing what yes and no. It was just asking yes and no questions. So I asked it like simple questions about my address, my gender, stuff like that. Like, show me yes, show me no, just to make sure I was getting the right yes or no's. And then I started asking questions about my future and things like that. And it was very interesting. Then there was muscle testing. I've only come across muscle testing once, and I thought it was weird. It's where you make a loop with your non-dominant hand, and with your dominant hand you make a little pincher, and then yes, or this would be no, like you try and open it and nothing happens, and then yes is when it breaks open. And it's just you could do it with a partner. What is this called? Kinesiology, something like that. What's it called? I can't pronounce it, but I'm sure you can look it up. I think it's kinesiology, something like that. And it's like the energies and the vibrations within you, like the spirit within you, can manifest your spirit guide. So you use physical, instead of using a pendulum, you're using your muscles. So like if I had a bag of poison in one hand and I moved it, and it was, if you had a partner, you could test this. So like you're holding a bag of poison and you try and push away, and it's really, really weak, then that's a no answer. Like if I had a bag of kitty chow and it was stronger, then that's a yes. So I didn't have a partner, since Lily no longer lives with me. I didn't have a partner, so I did this one, and it took me a while to get the hang of it, like what was yes and what was no, and eventually it did work. It was similar to the pendulum with the yes and no questions, but it's not something that I'm like really into. I guess if I needed guidance and I was nowhere near my witchy stuff, which is very rare, I'd probably try, and I needed a yes or no question, I would use that. Then the next one is automatic writing. I've done this, I used to do this a lot when I was younger, just to clear my head usually. But yeah, so I haven't done it in a long time. I haven't journaled in like a year. So I did some automatic writing, and I asked simple questions for my guide. Her name is Sarah. She's a little girl. She's not like a little girl, she's a teenage girl. And I actually met Sarah in my teen years. She was my spirit guide when I first started my journey into witchcraft. It was my neighbor and I had an Ouija board, or she had an Ouija board. And we were communicating with whoever our spirits were. And Sarah was the first one to answer all of my questions. And I've had her in my life for a very long time. I don't consult with her very often because, like I said, when it comes to spirit work, I try and keep that boundary. But after that one sentence is that with schizophrenia, you can't turn it off. That was just like mind blowing. And then the last exercise was clairaudience, which is hearing your spirit guides. So this one is a little easier because when I commune with the goddess or my orishas, I sit and I talk with them and they talk back to me. Not like it's not like a hallucination. It's a very different sensation. Like for me, when it's a hallucination, my body like panics. But however, when I'm speaking with divinity, it calms itself down, and I can just it's just like a little rapport between me and divinity or whatever spirit I'm talking to. And so I asked I asked her if she had any guidance for me, and most of the messages that I've been receiving is that I'm stronger than I give myself credit for, and that if I stay focused and don't doubt myself, good things will happen. And good things are happening. I'm trying to stay hopeful and stuff. So it was nice getting that message saying that I'm doing the right thing and that I'm a good person, etc., etc. And but yeah, that was lesson 9 of the Inner Temple of Witchcraft. I hope you guys had a great day. A happy Labor Day weekend. It's now Monday. I'm at work. I normally don't work on Monday on Monday, so this has thrown me completely off. I keep thinking it's Sunday, but I had Sunday off, which I normally don't. So it's just been a weird couple days already. Anyway, I hope you have a blessed day. Brightest blessings.